you, appreciate that. We're going to start in our section 2, the power of unity. And that is a totally different way of looking within yourself, about yourself and your roots and everything that applies to that. Now we're going to learn to get out of ourselves and learn how to get along with others. Become a team. Open up that door to know you're never alone. So on the power of unity on this section, now that we've discovered our personal power, we discover something even greater, and that's the power of people working together. The key points in this is that trust builds relationships. Communication builds understanding. Service builds community. Collaboration multiplies success. And together we can accomplish for more than we ever could alone. And so one person can make a difference, but united, people can change the world. Our first speaker in this section, we have 3 speakers. And they are, we'll start with Channing Lamar. We should have Channing Lamar up there. Thank you, I love it. Channing is an educator, a speaker, and a leader with a Bachelor of Science in Physical Education from Bethune-Cookman University, a Master of Science in Organizational Learning and Leadership from Barry University, and leadership training through Harvard Business School Online, with over a decade of experience in education. Channing specializes in building trust, fostering relationships, developing leaders, and creating high-performance teams. Let's go ahead and welcome Ms. Channing Lamar.
I want you to take a moment to close your eyes. I want you to breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. Once again, breathe in, breathe out. I want you to think about the first time you ever stepped foot in a classroom. I'll take it. The first time I stepped into my 2nd grade class was January 2026. And in that time, I had a choice to make. Was I going to show up for my students, or was I going to be teacher number 7? You see, my students, in the process from August to December, had already had 6 teachers prior to me. 6 different personalities, 6 different people, 6 different teachings. So I had a choice. Was I going to come in as the big boulder teacher who was going to finish off the year, or was I going to lead? My principal said, Miss Lamar, you have a choice. You can take this, or you can leave this job. But you need to make a decision right now. According to the job description, I was supposed to come in and teach 1st graders. But that didn't work out. These 2nd graders needed me. They needed me in such a way that I didn't even know, and I needed them. I stepped into the classroom with so much enthusiasm, ready to teach, ready to be there for them. But their agenda was different. I have this one student who we'll call Michael. Michael was a different type of student. Michael didn't want to hear me talk. Michael didn't want to hear me speak. Matter of fact, Michael didn't even want to look at me. And I took notice to it because I realized he had already had 6 people in front of him telling him what to do, but they never stayed. My topic is about trust and rapport. For the first 6 weeks of being in that class, it was nothing but me showing up. No matter if I was sick, No matter if I was angry, I showed up. I told them, you know what? It is okay that I'm sick today. I'm going to show up for you no matter what. My reason for that was to show that I am human, and also to show them that no matter sickness, she'll show up. The particular incident, I had jury duty. Now, we all know jury duty, you have to go to jury duty. But my students didn't understand why I had to leave them. By the time I was there, it had already been 3 months, locked and loaded. We were on our schedule. So for 3 months straight, they knew I would show up and show out. The day before it was time for me to go, I had to tell my students, hey class, please everybody sit down. I need your attention. Miss Lamar, what do you need to tell us today? Well, class, tomorrow I will not be here. Burst out and crying. I'm not sure if you have ever had the opportunity to be with students, but crying students is the most heartbreaking thing that anyone can endure. It made me realize that I had to show up. Miss Lamar, why are you leaving us? Why are you not coming tomorrow? What did we do? Those were the words that I heard from my second graders. And I can tell you right now, that feeling of heartbreak, I felt it immediately. I said, students, I have jury duty. Please don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. Well, Miss Lamar, what is jury duty? Jury duty is where we have to go as a people to serve our country. My students sat there for about a good 20 minutes. They cried, they laughed. We brought them back. I said, listen, I'll be back, guys, don't worry. I come back to school, walking down the hallway. My class is at the end of the hallway. Could you imagine walking down the hallway and 22 students bombarding you? It is the greatest feeling anyone can endure. They were not cheering me on because they had a substitute that they didn't want yesterday. They were cheering me on because I came back. They were cheering me on because they knew they could count on me. Now let me tell you, while I was doing jury duty, I had 22 students send me messages through Class Dojo. I don't know if you know about Class Dojo, but that's one way that the teachers, the families, the parents, the students talk to one another. It was the greatest thing ever. Mr. Michael came up to me and said, Miss Lamar, I'm just surprised you came back. I was really counting on you not to. Now, one thing I can tell you is that second graders are very honest. They're very, very honest. Whatever you do or don't do, they will definitely let you know. But he said, Miss Lamar, I missed you so much. I missed all of your big congratulations because every day was a day that you congratulated us to be in school. Every day I showed up for my students. I brought candy to them. That was a recipe for disaster when I didn't, but it showed them that I care. This particular class was the low of the lowest for our second graders within performance. We sat there, we talked, and I told my students, listen, I need you to perform. You are not performing for me, you're performing for yourself. They said, are you sure, Miss Lamar, that we're performing for ourselves? I said, absolutely. Think about it. If you get teacher number 8, will you still perform? Will you still come to class? What will you do? Michael sat there and he said, you know, Miss Lamar, you're right. You brought us candy today. Tomorrow is our big test. Let's see if you bring candy tomorrow, and let's see if we'll perform for you. Well, that next day for testing was not candy. We had Dunkin' Donuts because their energy has to be high. Through the process, what I realized as an educator is that you have to show up no matter what. When you are sick, that is the greatest showcase of you as an educator, because it's not at your best. I would tell my students all the time, you still have to come to school. They would say, Miss Lamar, but I don't feel well. It is okay, guys. That's what we're here to do. As I thought about my class, it made me also realize these are second graders trusting an adult. What about my adult friends, co-workers? How do they feel? How do they go through the motion of every day coming in sick or not sick? If you don't know, I am everyone's cheerleader. I love life. So I would tell my coworkers, listen, the kids trust in what you do. So whatever you tell them, they are in good mind to figure out whether it's good or bad. But if your goal is to make sure that you are giving them the correct information, all they can do is trust you. Back to Michael. After jury duty was over, Michael came over to me and said, Miss Lamar, you know, I really appreciate you telling us that you wouldn't be here the next day. It really gave me some type of comfort that I didn't know I had or needed. Which, interesting enough, I always tell my students, if you're not going to be here for the next day, please let us know so that I'm aware of what's going on. Yes, it's 1- person, but that lets me know how the class is going to be. But I can definitely tell you, when one person is missing, it makes all the bigger difference. Now, I want to bring it back to you. Think about you at work. How do people take you? When you're absent, do they miss you? When you're not at that meeting, what is going through their mind? Do you show up the way that you're supposed to show up? A lot of times we think it's about the outside. It's about us. How are you showing up for yourself? Yes, we have teamwork. Yes, we are a part of these big corporations. But individually, are you showing up for yourself? Because at the end of the day, if you cannot show up for you, how can you show up for your team? Now, my situation is a little different with being a teacher. As you guys know, we are always sick. However, my way of making sure that I'm not always sick is vitamin C and vitamin D. But I want you to realize what you have in front of yourself. Do you trust yourself in a way? Because if you don't trust yourself, how can your family trust you? How can your team trust you? And how can your company trust you? We talk about rapport. Did you meet that person? What is the rapport between you and this CEO? But what about the rapport you have with yourself? Trust is easy when you do it for yourself. Did you get up to walk this morning? Did you take your medicine? Did you do the things that you needed to do to build trust within yourself? Because at the end of the day, if you're not depositing anything into yourself, the world will always make withdrawals on you. However, day by day, activity by activity, person by person, we realize that we're our own greatest person. So trusting yourself is most important. I had to take that framework into the classroom. I had never taught second grade before, never in this manner of students who did doubt themselves all day long. Miss Lamar, I can't do this. Miss Lamar, I can't do that. Stop. We no longer say we cannot do anything. Words have power. I told my students in my class, all I want to hear is what you can do. Because when you can do something, you can trust yourself. You do build rapport with yourself because you have a positive mindset. Positivity has always ran through my bones. When I played basketball, when I did track and field, when I was in my bachelor's degree, master's degree, I had to make sure that I was with me all the time. So showing up for myself was what I needed to do. I needed to build the rapport with myself. Practice every day, no matter what it is. The smallest encounters make all the big difference. I came to the Bahamas and I thought about something. I thought about the Paradise Island Bridge. One thing I love is that these are two entities that now have a connection of a bridge. This bridge was not thought of by anybody. It was thought of by the Bahamian people to make sure that people could eat, could go to work. But what does all of that mean? That means that we're creating opportunities. Someone trusts that on this side of this land, to this side of this land, we could create something remarkable. And we did. Well, you did. Your family did. Your people did. You created opportunities for your people to eat, to see, to explore. It's no different in my classroom. I'm on this side with all the knowledge that I've been taught, from the up top to the bottom. In between is everything that needs to be talked about, and here are my children. What I learned to bridge the gap was not about ego. It was not that I was the boss, that I was the teacher. It was about that I love the fact that my students could learn. And I don't know about you, but have you ever seen a second grader learn a method? It is the greatest light up of their face. I always taught my students how to do 9 timetables. You can do them on your fingers. I'll give you a demonstration. If I say 9 times 3, I have up 10 fingers. You will count 1, 2, 3. Put that finger down. On this side, you have 2. On the other side, you have 7. 9 times 3 is 27. So for the longest time, my students were like, Miss Lamar, what do I do? Over and over again, I taught them how to do it. But then Michael stood up. Miss Lamar, I got it. Just give me one. Just give me one. Okay, Michael. Class, are you ready? He's itchy. He's ready. What is 9 times 6? Okay, let me try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Miss Lamar? Is it 54? You got it! That was actually me, guys. I love it. He was so excited. The whole class burst out in laughter and excitement because they all got it. Michael, the one who always gave me the extra lip, he finally got it. He taught other people how to do it, then another person how to do it. He taught his big sister how to do it. She came to me, who's a 5th grader, and she was like, Miss Lamar, I know how to do the times table. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. The excitement of them learning was awesome. But it couldn't happen if Michael didn't trust me. It couldn't happen if I didn't sit through the heartache of Michael crying or not wanting to do his work. That commonly happened. He wanted me to show him that I was here for him. And I did that. No matter if it was blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes we cried together because I was just, you guys got it. Believe in yourself. The one thing I want you to understand is that showing up shows people a different part of you. It shows them that you are capable even when you don't want to show up. I showed up for them because I had a coach who showed up for me. I had professors who showed up for me. And no matter if I didn't want to come to class or I didn't want to go to practice, my coaches showed up for me. They made me understand what trust and rapport was all about. It wasn't about them. It was always about me. So my classroom, trust and rapport is always about the students. Those testing ideas and studies, it's not about me, it's about the students. One day, when those kids are grown and they teach their child the 9 times table, I've done my job. It is a small reward because now it's very different teaching. I have my own ways about it. I'm not going to bury that onto you. But one thing I can say is that teaching taught me to be a different part of myself. It taught me that no matter the heartache, I had to show up. I want you to show up for yourself. Trust yourself. Build your rapport. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have. Thank you.
Ms. Channing Lamar, we actually have a new position for her she's had for quite some time. And that's Chief Happiness Officer. And that's in our Superior Speakers. And I thought there's got to be a position for her. And I did research, and there truly is a position open in corporate level. Chief Happiness Officer, you need the glue in between to keep everything in a great atmosphere and everyone feeling good. Better work quality, people feel good. So you can see that. Thank you, Channing. All right, our next speaker is Dr. Carmen Sita Lake. And she came all the way from British Columbia to be here with each of you. She's a veterinarian, and you have your lapel on? Okay, good. She's a veterinarian, a public health practitioner, educator, and motivational speaker dedicated to empowering individuals and communities. Through leadership, storytelling, and even in education, she promotes unity, service, lifelong learning, and positive health outcomes while inspiring others to become the best version of themselves. And her topic today is through unity. And we sure do appreciate her being all the way over here. And I do want to mention our speakers that came here to Bahamas. They didn't get paid for this. They came for love. They paid it themselves. And that's our speakers here. Dr. Lake.
Unity through understanding, sure. Aren't they magnificent? Yes. Did you know that when water gets cold, lower than 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 10 degrees Celsius, the cold-blooded sea turtles go from that to this. Their metabolism slows way down. They can't swim, they can't feed, they can't even lift their heads above the water to breathe. So many drown. They call this cold stunning. Now this is what happened off the coast of Florida in 2010, when wave after wave of cold front passed through that Florida panhandle. Thousands of turtles were affected. The thing is that people came from everywhere to help. Fishermen, boaters, scuba divers, cold and wet, gathering the turtles out of the ocean and bringing them to the shore. Now, if you've ever walked the beach, you know how hard it is to walk in sand, right? Imagine carrying those turtles, sometimes the size of 2 full-grown men, up those beaches, through the marshes, to the trucks, to the vans, and to the on-site shelters. The business people, they all came out. They provided kiddie pools, heaters, blankets. The restaurants and coffee shops donated food and water for the volunteers. Universities, professors, students, researchers, they all came forward and dug in, tagging, measuring, and collating the turtles that arrived. Everybody was doing their part. Now, I have a soft spot for turtles, so I showed up too. And I spent a week at one of the partner facilities. I was part of a team of veterinarians and animal care workers that cycled through these facilities, examining, treating, supporting these turtles that arrived. Day 1, 50 turtles. Manageable. Day 3, 150 turtles. That was stunning. And our supplies were starting to dwindle. Day 5 and the cold front just wouldn't let up. 200 turtles. I think these slides are a little bit off. 200 turtles arrived. This is not working. 200 turtles arrived. And there wasn't a kiddie pool available for rent, borrow, beg, or steal for miles and miles around. We were totally overwhelmed. Yet, everybody dug in. Now, up until this point, this was by far the largest team that I'd ever been a part of. And in the end, over 4,500 sea turtles were saved. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a result of unity in understanding the service. Ready for me? Now, when this whole episode took place, people were wondering, what's going to happen? Is this the end? Well, that's global warming for you. That was 2010. The same thing happened again in 2021 and 2022. Can I get you to manually change them for me, or is it good? Okay. Imagine an auditorium like this, where every inch of floor space is covered in turtles. This is how we were rescued, all of these sea turtles. Now, how do we do this? We did this through unity. How many of you have heard of Aristotle? Yes. And those of you who've heard of him know that he's been known for the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's what unity does for you. So let's talk about being a team. What team leadership means. On the way, I'm going to give you 3 steps to how you can improve your service. I'm also going to give you some tips and things to do that can actually get you to unity through service. Let's start with teamwork. What is a team? Well, a team is a group of individuals that work separately. But their work, they bring together as a unit to improve the efficiency. And being part of a team is something that really, really works to help everybody get something accomplished. I was on Prairie Goat Farm. It's about an hour's drive away from my clinic. And I'd gone there to collect some samples. I got out of the truck, I grabbed my ice kit, I grabbed my cooler, and I went to the barn. When I arrived at the barn, I opened the kit. No blood collection vials. All right, maybe I left them in the truck. So I went back to the truck. No blood collection vials. So I called the clinic. Hey, Kim, do you have any idea where the blood collection vials are that are supposed to be in the truck? Well, Dr. Lake, I didn't put that kit together, Terry did. Well, you're responsible for it, so did you check with her? No, I didn't. Ooh. So what am I supposed to do now? sometimes when we don't take ownership for our responsibility as being an individual team member, it's not the end of the world. It can be an easy fix, little repercussions, sometimes not. That day, I couldn't complete my call. The next day I went back to the clinic and Kim was waiting for me. Dr. Lake, I'm really sorry. Kim, what happened? Well, Terry, I was busy, so Terry put the kit together. I thought it was all ready, so I just grabbed it and put it in the truck. But I didn't check. After your call, Dr. Lake, Terry and I had a talk, and we realized just what that cost us. So we got together and we worked on a solution that's going to better help us work as a team. And I'm sure that that situation won't happen again. Do you think that I had more confidence in Kim and Terry after that? Raise your hand. I did. Because they demonstrated what it was to be a team, a unified team. They took responsibility. They sought solutions. They took action. And they demonstrated commitment to team success. When I was a brand new vet, I was on a job interview. And Scott, my potential boss, received a phone call. We're calling from Kalama Horse Camp. We have a horse and rider that fell off the side of the trail and are 20 feet down on the ledge. Can you help? Rescue kid the horse. I had to go down, examine, and sedate him. And I'm looking down 20 feet and thinking, actually I said it. I can't do this. God heard me. You can, and you will. So I did. By the time that JetBlue helicopter came down, Scott was now down on the ledge. He put a kid in the harness, and that helicopter driver, Ken, lifted kid straight up. Beautiful. Meanwhile, I had gone over to the landing site, supposed to be in charge. And the sheriff was there. He was looking after the crowds and the media. The park rangers were there preparing the landing site. The horse owners brought in the trailer for the horse. The paramedic was standing by. And there were 4 men there to volunteer to help me. But they were totally ignoring what I was saying. You put it over there, I'll stand over here. You do that. That's not what she said, shouted the owner's wife. Everything shifted. All eyes were on me. By the time that kid landed, we were ready. The volcano rescue team took kid out of the harness. Steve, the paramedic here in red, helped me examine and treat kid for shock and test his wounds. And Rick, the owner, and kid, now reunited, got to go home and fully recover. Unity and service. Now, this wouldn't have been possible, ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for teamwork. So I want to take a moment just to stop and talk a little bit about being a team leader. Because every team needs to have a leader. Team leaders plan for your team. They support the team. When teamwork goes well, they share in the accolades. When teamwork doesn't necessarily go to plan, they take responsibility. That's what a team leader does. Team leadership, however, a lot of times requires respect. You don't get to be a leader without respect, at least not a functional one. And respect relies on relationships. I certainly didn't have time for relationship building with the horse cube people. And certainly they had no respect for me initially. And Terry and Kim also found this out when they had to figure out how it was that the work and hit was not functional and who was going to take responsibility. Before I go into service, though, I just want to say that being a team leader is not an easy job. It's really tough. And you really do have to make sure that you've got the best interests of your team at heart. So what's this thing called service? Well, it's the act of helping others. And why do you think that is? What is so great about service? Well, it's the things you get out of service, the benefits you receive. In Canada, high school students can't graduate from high school unless they have a certain amount of hours that I've engaged in community service. That's how important it is. And why is that? I see a wrinkled eyebrow over here. Why is it that's so important? It's because of the things that service teaches you. Empathy, compassion, respect. You get to learn about tolerance, collaboration, and of course, for me, hopefully, environmental collaboration as well. Now, when it comes to teamwork and teams and service, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in service or done something for somebody else or had them do something for you actually, where they didn't have any skin in the game? Anybody here? Anybody done anything for you? Absolutely. And that's a form of service. And if you're the person that's doing this service on behalf of somebody else, there are benefits. And I call this act of service for somebody else paying it forward. So let me give you 3 steps to growing in service. Start small. Help somebody cross the street. Grab a coffee for your classmate. Hey, volunteer at a speaking event. Be reliable. Start small. Because small things done often compound. And you get to see the benefit of what you're helping to create. And the third thing is, find your work. Find your love and work with that. Find something that inspires you, because nothing lifts your spirit more than doing something that you love. Now, earlier today, you heard about service and the act of helping people and how that works. And what we're talking about here is the act of understanding. Because people need to know where they fit into the team, where they fit into the wider picture. People thrive when they unify. Nobody wants to be left out. Everybody wants to be a part of something good. 5 recommendations to get to success, and I'll leave you with these. Gather the right team members. Find the right system for your team. Empower your team members. Show interest. And finally, evaluate yourselves regularly. You now know what it's like to be a team member. You've given us the steps to improve your success of being in service. And you've got 5 ways now to take you to that point of unity where you can do good and your teams can not only do well, but excel. Thank you.
Dr. Carmen Sita, Miss Lake. She definitely delivers, and we sure do appreciate her coming all the way over here just to be able to share with you. She has a few life lessons with humans and animals. Right now, our next speaker is Jack Burt. Let me tell you a little bit about Jack as we wait for his slide to come up. He's called the fun guy. He is the one that likes to go out of the box to make someone smile, and we sure appreciate him. And that's why he's part of Party Unity. When you laugh with others, it's fun. You get to meet people and, wow, let's just laugh together. Well, he loves to do that, and you'll see that. But Jack Burt was a leader in the financial services industry for over 30 years, conducted over 100 workshops, been president of the many local nonprofits, served on various boards, and is in his high school's Sports Hall of Fame for coaching. Jack has been a member of Toastmasters International since 2012, and we sure appreciate what he has to bring us. And again, another speaker that out of their pocket wanted to come and share what they have, and you're gonna love it. Jack. I know we got 2 of those microphones, so we could switch, and we'll just have to get it organized. But here he is. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Please rise. I can't see if everybody's standing up or not. It's so bright here. Please repeat after me. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! On 3, all together. 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! Yes. Doesn't celebrating, isn't it fun? Thank you. Please be seated. Please nod if you can recall the last time you had a yeehaw moment. I think some of you need to spark up your life a little bit. I don't see a lot of nodding out there. Success feels great. Celebrate success. Personal, professional, sports, any type of accomplishments by you, your team, your loved ones. Celebrate. Use your imagination. Be creative on how you celebrate. One time, I wrote out dozens of little messages of affection and kindness and spread them all over the house, even in the refrigerator. whenever I was crafting this presentation, I was watching a game show on television. The contestants were celebrities. They were competing for their favorite charities. They were not competing for cash prizes. Yet whenever they answered a question correctly, or if they won, they jumped all over the place. They were screaming, they were giving high fives, they were prancing all over the stage. Success feels good. Whenever you celebrate success, it produces dopamine. That's a good thing. Whenever you have the touch of a high five, that produces dopamine as well too. So celebrate the successes of anybody that's close to you and your teams. Did you ever do something really great and no one acknowledged it? No. So be aware of what your teammates, your loved ones, and others around you, of their successes, and help them celebrate. Whenever you want a success, what is the main thing that helps people succeed? Communication. Communication helps people succeed more than any other single factor. Hey, way back in the back, did you hear that? Success in life is determined by communication more than any other factor. Woo! Yeehaw! That's right. Yeah, that's good. I like that yeehaw. My opinion, the three most important aspects of being a good communicator. One, primarily, be a great listener. There was two different podcasts I was listening to. Two different people had a very similar story. Not on the air, but they recounted a story. The podcaster was talking to someone. The other person was doing most of the talking. At the end of the conversation, the other person told the podcaster, "You're a great conversationalist." People love whenever you listen. Speaking of listening, my beautiful companion, Donna, she gets asked out for lunch all the time by all these ladies. Or at least, she tells me they're all ladies. Well, why would they ask her out? Because she listens. She wants to know what's going on. She cares about what is going on. That's fantastic. People love that. So take the time to listen to people. Hear what they say. Everybody has feelings and emotions. And sometimes those feelings and emotions are not sifted through their words and what they say. So whenever you're talking with someone, yeah, absorb their words, but also what else is up there that wasn't sifted through. Feel for them, care for them, lock eyes with them. Celebrate your family. Celebrate with a shot of dopamine. By doing a little dance, giving a high five, doing something fun with your family, coworkers, or friends. Have fun with it. The key to success, or one key to success, is celebration. Can you hear me now? What kind of show is this?
What kind of a show is this?
So, celebrate your achievements. Celebrate your accomplishments. And the accomplishments of others as well, too. If you want success, celebrate success. Can you all repeat after me? If you want success, celebrate success. So don't wait. Celebrate. Now, don't be lazy though. Work hard. Just a personal note. I started working when I was 11 years of age. Part-time under an older brother's name and social security number. Won't tell the government. And I retired 55 years never missed a day of work. So, yeah, I am silly. I like to have fun, but I work hard. But whenever you have a success, don't wait, celebrate. Don't wait, celebrate. All right. Well, here comes security.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Can't take me anywhere. Whenever you're communicating with someone, really lock eyes as much as you can. During the average conversation, it's about 60% that people lock eyes. Go beyond that. Do a little bit better. And do better than locking the eyes. Lock your mind. Lock the idea. Lock those emotions. Have your thoughts with them and also your emotions with that person you're speaking with. Whenever you're talking to someone and they're not listening, they don't care, you're pouring your heart out. And you can tell they are not interested at all. Ouch. Be better than that. Build trust. Build those relationships by caring what they say. Lock that mind. Focus on what that person is meaning. Care about that person. Be careful what you say to people. Whenever my kids were younger, my son did something bad. I can't remember what it was. And for the first time ever, I grounded him. I said, "You're grounded." He collapsed to the floor. He started crying. He was devastated. He was hysterical, inconsolable. I couldn't understand why he was overreacting so much. Here my son thought grounded meant burying him. That was one of the worst moments of my life. My son thought I was going to bury him. Be careful what you say. One time I was entertaining several family and friends, and my youngest daughter, Stephanie, probably 12, 13 years of age, she walked in. I was saying some nice things about Stephanie, maybe talk about her basketball or whatever. She was good at basketball. And I said, "Oh, speak of the devil." And a moment later, she left the room. A minute later, my oldest daughter, Tiffany, she comes down. She says, "Dad, Stephanie's upstairs. She's crying. She said, you called her the devil." No. So I ran upstairs and explained to my lovely daughter that it's just a figure of speech. When you're talking about someone and usually good things, and that person arrives, then you can say, "I'll speak of the devil." It's just a saying. I love you, and I don't speak badly of you. So not only be careful of what you say to your children and everybody else, be really careful on how your children will interpret what you say. You don't want to think them to be grounded. You don't want them to think you're speaking evil of them. Speak of the devil. So be careful, be alert. Read people, read their eyes, and try to read their mind as much as possible. Whenever your kids are talking to you, if they're small children, stop what you're doing. Look them in the eye. Give them the attention that they crave. Reward and celebrate the most important people in your life, your family, your loved ones. The lack of communication is one of the leading causes of divorce. Express your feelings, but be receptive of your partner's feelings. Be patient with that partner. You want to have that loving and lasting relationship the rest of your life. When talking to people, I like to think of the Dale Carnegie quote. I love this quote. To be interesting, be interested. To be interesting, be interested. So whether it's coworkers, friends, or family, be interested. And as far as your family, I like to say that families that talk together, walk together. So build that bond with your kids. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. Before I retired, I took on a motto to like the unlikable. Has anybody ever worked with someone that was a little difficult to work with? Okay. Are they bad guys? Are you a bad guy? No, you wouldn't be here. But we all have stresses once in a while. We might not be as nice as what we would like to be. So I took on this challenge before I retired that if someone had a reputation, oh, that guy's a jerk, or that lady, she's so arrogant, I took it as a challenge. I'm going to be really nice to that person. I'm going to see if they like me. So I'd smile, always talk to them, ask them questions and so forth. And eventually, they at least acted like they kind of liked me. And also, by doing this, I genuinely grew to like them. So be aware that someone might be having a bad day and have patience with them. My brain is like a wild 2-year-old. I might be talking to somebody, leaning in, nodding, acting like I'm really involved with that conversation. But in the meantime, my mind is dancing all over the place. And so is my microphone. I'm thinking about, I can't wait to get my 2 cents in. Or, I got all these chores I need to do. Or, this guy is boring. Oh my goodness. Control that wild sucker. Focus entirely on what that person is telling you. Don't let your mind wander. Do the best you can to control your mind. Focus. Focus deeply. By doing so, you'll release oxytocin, which is another good thing. It builds a trusting relationship with people whenever you release oxytocin. What's that quote from Dale Carnegie? Okay, listen up a little bit better. To be interesting, be interested. Families that talk together,
Walk together.
walk together. Good job. Yeah. Whenever you go to a networking event or you meet someone new, is anybody a little bit timid or feel awkward in those situations? Yeah, I see a bunch of hands. That's human nature. Almost all of us are. You're afraid, but be brave. And that reminds me, again, go back to my lovely girlfriend. She went to Alaska several years ago with her daughter. Donna is afraid of heights. No, Donna is petrified of heights. Her daughter is a daredevil. Her daughter wanted to ride the highest and fastest zip line in the world. Donna didn't want to do that. No way, no. But she used her reasoning skills. They do safety inspections on that apparatus all the time. No one ever got hurt. Cable never broke. Tons of people do it every single day. So she was afraid, but she was brave. She did it. She cried all the way up. She cried all the way down. She'll probably never do it again, but she did it. And I like to compare that with a networking event or meeting new people. You might be afraid, but be brave. Use your reasoning skills. There's tons of opportunities by meeting new people and networking. opportunities that might help your career, opportunities to make different acquaintances, to maybe make a friend. So the opportunities are endless. Seize those opportunities. Afraid, yet brave. Go for it. It's raining inside here. What did I just do? I was quiet. So whenever you go to an event, like a networking event, it's okay to be quiet. I tell myself, I'm a public speaker, but when I meet people, I want to be the audience. I want to listen. I want to learn. I do ask a lot of questions. So soak it all up. Please don't try to be the star of the show. Don't try to show them how smart you are or that you're a big shot. No, we're all human. We all have faults. We all have dreams. So look at it as another opportunity to learn and to meet someone, and don't try to steal the show. Speaking of such, when you go to that event, don't be an eyesore. What do you mean eyesore? I did this. I did that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did that even bigger, better. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, don't do that, please. People don't want to hear that. Be patient. Let the other person talk. Give them a consideration of what they want to say. And what I would recommend also is jotting something down on the back of their business card or a notebook or something like that after you meet someone, so you can follow up. It's like planting a seed. Nourish and fertilize that seed. Just be careful what kind of fertilizer you use, though. I will leave you with my little rhyme. The most valuable asset we have is time. A key to a successful life is good communication. Reward small achievements with celebration. Listen, ask questions, focus on who you talk to. I genuinely hope my ideas have given you a tidbit or two. Don't try. Instead, do. Taking your time to listen to my thoughts, I sincerely say, thank you.
We promised fun, and we promised quite a bit with Mr. Jack, and I don't know how many layers he peeled off, but it was kind of fun, wasn't it? and he had a cute shirt after that. Well, Donna, you got quite a guy, and he sure says a lot about you too, so not that you're going to be doing that. But all right, we have completed the power of unity. And it's basically we stepped in learning about ourselves. How do we get along with others? How do we make them feel good? Why do we have two ears and one mouth? To listen. And so we learned quite a bit about that. The power of unity is we discovered personal power, as I mentioned, but this one we covered again about trust, builds relationships, communication builds understanding, service builds community. Collaboration multiplies success, and together we accomplish far more than we ever could alone. And one person does make a difference, and again, united people can change the world. We're going to play a song that commemorates commemorates everything that was taught in this space. And it's not a break song. We just want you to listen and think about our steps, your progression inside out. And we're going to play The Awakening.
Do you hide inside the shadows, afraid your scars will show? Comparing every broken piece to lives you'll never know. Do you hold your dreams in silence, locked inside your mind, believing you are less than love while leaving hope behind? But lift your eyes toward the heavens, you are not alone. Millions of hearts are searching for a place to belong. It's an awakening, step into the light. You were born with purpose, you were made to shine. No more fear, no more hiding, no more living small. Love and light are rising. There is room for us all. Take the hand of another. Let the circle grow across every ocean, across every soul. We are connected more than we have known. It's an awakening. Love will lead us home. Every color, every story, every heart and name. We all long to feel accepted. We all hurt the same. You are worthy in this moment, exactly as you are. There's no need for comparison. Your light has traveled far. Don't look back to the darkness. Keep reaching for the dawn. The world is waiting for your gift, your voice, your love, your song. It's an awakening. Step into the light. You are born with purpose. You were made to shine. No more fear, no more hiding, no more living small. Love and light are rising. There is room for us all. Take the hand of another and let the circle grow across every nation, across every soul. We are all connected more than we have known. It's an awakening. Love will lead us home. No more prisons of the mind, no more chains we leave behind. Brothers, sisters, stand as one underneath the same sun. Feel the healing, feel the fire. Hope is lifting us higher. Side by side we rise above in a revolution.
from that? We're about the power within, the power of unity. And now we're going to go into the power of results. Once you find yourself, once you get out there, you meet a friend and meet several and smile, as Mr. Jack puts it, what happens? Great, humongous things. An idea starts with one, but then it's sharing with others, and they like the idea too. How do you think Dr. Sherman Stevens and I were able to bring 12 speakers over out of their own pocket because they care and they liked the idea? We are doing this every year. What'd you think of our young ambassadors and our wonderful gal of excellence leadership? I hope you guys are liking this. You learning here? Aren't they great? Great speakers, and that's going to be you too. So that's why we're so excited. Every year we start with the first. I love the first. It's always the best. Our next 4 speakers, and then we'll be finished with some great surprises. But right now I'm going to introduce Mr. Conrad Williams. And Conrad Williams has a slide. And it's right here. It was right after that one. I have to wait for the slides so we're on track for the next one so we don't get behind. But there is a slide for Conrad Williams. And I know we can find it. I know you'll find it. I know Conrad has slides too, but we want to make sure. Woo! So when you say that, I know it's there, okay? So I don't have to keep looking back. All right, so he is going to teach us some wonderful things. He's going to be about peace, stability. With more than a decade of experience helping individuals and families navigate financial decisions, combined with his work as a financial advisor, business owner, and public speaker, he's seen firsthand how uncertainty impacts people's lives. His journey through economic challenges, leadership roles, and retirement planning has taught him that lasting peace and stability are not found in circumstances alone, but in the results we create through purpose, preparation, and consistent action. And let's bring him out, Mr. Conrad Williams.
Question. What if the challenge you're facing today isn't happening to you, but it's happening for you? Life has a way of throwing you curveballs. And with these curveballs, either you're ducking or you're diving. A few years ago, I was part owner of a growing business. We worked hard to start this business, made commitments, made sacrifices. We thought we were making good decisions, but sometimes there are things out of your control. Who in here has ever started something, put your all in it, only to have it fail? Raise your hand. So I'm not alone. So as I talk to you today and share my journey, I hope you will get something from it. So we had a business. I was working, saved, committed, partnered with someone. Life was going on. We had just signed a lease on the storefront next door because we needed more space. At the same time, my wife and I, we invested in rental properties. Not because we were seeking wealth, but we were trying to make sure that our future, we would have some future because we have kids. Then came, well, that's life was good. And then came 2008, the Great Recession. What started as just headlines quickly became reality. Banks fail, businesses close, industries were turned upside down. Our businesses slowed, customers pulled back, they became cautious. We looked for new opportunities, but at the time, there was nothing. What do you do when that's all that you're seeing? You've just invested everything that you have, and now those are the headlines. We were still cautious, but then reality set in. It's no longer a headline. It appeared at our front door. Came to our front door. As I mentioned earlier, customers pulled back. There was no revenue. When there's no revenue, what do you do? Rent stopped coming in because, again, people lost their job. Mortgage payments, however, people who have mortgage knows, you have to pay the bills. When you sign up, you didn't tell them, hey, if something happened, I'm not going to pay. They would never have approved you. You made a commitment that through rain or storm, that's my commitment. So we made mortgage payments, even when rent was not coming in. You may ask me, why did you make the payment? Because there was no rent coming in. We made the payment because we had a commitment. We also didn't want to mess up our credit. And there's this integrity factor. We signed some documents that says we're going to make that payment. So we did. And it continued. And then the conversations at home became very tough. What are we going to do? We're throwing good money after bad investment. So my wife and I, we had a discussion. My partners and I, we also discussed, what are we going to do? We tried everything that we could, but sometimes trying is not good enough. We were forced to make a hard decision. We closed the business. We laid off our employees, people who trusted us, people who depended on us, people who became like family to us. We had assured them that if they left where they were and come over here to us, we would have their backs. Can anyone relate? Here we were now telling them, guys, unfortunately, we have to let you go. I felt like a failure. Because here it is, these people who trusted us, now we have to give them not necessarily the pink slip, but we have to tell them that we have to move. Month after month, the situation got worse. What are we going to do? We had discussion, but for me, I felt like a failure. Like, who was I if I can't provide for my family? Who was I if I'm a failure, basically? Many nights I couldn't sleep. I would lay in bed looking up at the ceiling, and it became so tough that I would get up, quietly get dressed, my wife is sleeping, and I would jump in my car and I would drive to the beach. There was something about the beach for me. I don't know if it's a Scorpio thing, because wherever I live, I'm always living by the water. I love the water. I would go to the beach and just reflect. I do? You may say, well, you were trying to achieve something, but I didn't see it like that. Megan spoke early about negativity, and I think Channing also alluded to that. And that's exactly where I lived. I lived in the negativity side of the road, the failure side of the road. What have you done? How could you put your family through this? You spent everything chasing a dream. But on the other side, you have to ask yourself, what if that dream came to fruition? How would it look? I tell my kids, you only fail when you stop trying. So how, as a parent, I'm going to tell them that you only fail when you stop trying, and I'm going to roll over and play dead. That was just one phase. That's how I felt. Identity crisis. Failure. Disappointment. Guys, I lived there. Because failure is when you tell yourself you can't do anything. How can I rise from that? I've lost everything. The only thing I didn't lose was my primary house, because I made sure at all times that one was never in jeopardy. I'll do everything else, but where I sleep always has to be protected. But in my world, scared money don't make money. You have to be willing to take risks if you want reward, right? So that's exactly what I did. My dad, on the other hand, is telling me, why did you do that? Why didn't you put the money in the bank? And I said, Dad, the bank is the only place I'm guaranteed to lose money. Because if it's not keeping up with inflation and then you're paying taxes on the gains, then you're losing. But I told him, listen, I see you work hard. I don't want to work as hard as you work. I want to do something else. Make my money work harder for me. That was just one instance. But I'm here to tell you that you have to try even when you think you're failing. And you can't give up, especially when you have an entrepreneurial mindset. When you have an employee mindset, then you want to get guarantees. 6 years ago, I moved from where I used to live to where I live now. And all my friends tell me I'm crazy. It's COVID, you have a guaranteed income, but yet you're giving it up to move to a different city. And I said, I felt led to do that. Why, I don't know. But I'm going to follow my intuition, and I'm going to take the leap. And I asked my wife, will you jump with me if we have to jump? And she said, yes, baby, I got your back. I said, okay. As long as she has my back, I don't have to worry. So we moved to a new city, and I started a business working for myself. And I'm here today to tell you 6 years later, and I've never regretted it. So this that you're looking on the screen, that was in the past. That's not what it is today. My dad unfortunately passed away a couple months ago. But with the decision I made 6 years ago, it gave me the opportunity to spend quality time with him. I was able to drive every day an hour and a half each way to go to the hospital. And he would say to me, Ian, why are you here? All he's looking on is the gas it's costing me to come from where I live, come to see him. And I said to him, you don't want to see me? He said, sure, I want to see you. So I said, then why are you worried? Because he's old school. He worries about everything. If it doesn't make financial sense to him, he doesn't do it. But you can't put a dollar value on quality time. Quality time, guys, is priceless. Spend time with your parents, with your loved one. Spend time with people who you want to spend time with. So for me, I went through that dark season in my life. And I said, if I ever come through it and have the opportunity to share, I would. I used to drive to the beach, and that was me walking on the beach. I was there for hours. And as I said, there was something about it, and I thought about what I thought that I didn't like. I said, would my family be better off if I wasn't here? Because I have a huge insurance policy. You laugh, Ricardo, but that was my thought. What if, because the pain was so heavy, guys. And then when you look in your family and you can't do what you used to do, not sure, I mean, I've been working ever since. I'm very independent. I like my own things, and I like nice things. And I don't apologize for that, as Megan said, don't apologize for who you are, because I'm not taking it from somebody else. I work for everything that I want. And I implore you all, do the same thing. Don't limit yourself because of what somebody else may say. Live your life, we only have one. And my dad said something to me before he passed away that I'll never forget. He's in the hospital, he said to me, he said, Ian, look how hard I work. What is money going to do for me? So I take that lesson from him, and I said, you live today, and Jack said that earlier too, be happy. Live like it's your last day. Don't live with any regrets. So I walked on that beach, guys, for hours, going over every decision that I made. I failed my family. So if I pop out, then everything will be okay. But then I think about my mom. I'm an only child. Who's going to take care of my mom? Because the kids nowadays are different from the people my generation. I'm now taking care of my mom. And then I wonder sometimes, will my kids take care of me? Because I observe them. I have 5 and I observe them. They're very selfish. It's all about them. Luckily, I have one that he's helping me take care of grandma, so I know he's going to take care of me. But that was my lowest, where I say, maybe if I do this, then my family would be okay. But then the money can't replace you. So we have to stop when we're in that negative mindset. And Cynthia talked about it earlier. Those negative thoughts that are renting space in your brain. We have to be conscious, be committed, be aware of what's going on up here. Because failure is not the end. Negativity is not the end. And I flew here and I think about the people in the Bahamas. You guys are resilient. Faith is who you are. You've endured hurricanes. You've endured economic uncertainty. But yet you rise. Because that's who you are. So, thinking about that, I'm saying to myself, I'm so glad I never gave up when we had the Great Depression, the Great Recession, I'm sorry. Because now I look at my life now, and my kids tell me I'm an example to them. I don't know if maybe they just want something why they say that. But, yeah, my son always said, Dad, you don't give yourself credit for what you do. So he tells me all the time. But I say, you know, he's my child, so maybe he's just boosting me up. But I'm saying that, guys, to say this, that life has a way of knocking you down. And I'm not sure who it is in here today that is supposed to hear this message. But you only fail when you stop trying. Don't let yesterday's mistake define your tomorrow. We've all have scars of the battles we've fought. Some of them are mental, some of them are emotional, some of them are spiritual. But I think God has placed each and every one of us here for a reason. Cynthia talked about the roots. and if you truly know who you are and you find your purpose, I used to think that people have talents and I have none. But then I say to myself, I don't think he would be that unfair why he would give people multiple and don't give me any. The problem is that I wasn't searching for mine. I was just on the surface, just comparing. But then I realized that he's a just God and he gives us blessings, he gives us talent. We just have to find it. He's not going to say this is what you need to do. But what I went through, that financial instability, allowed me today to help families with financial stability. So I'm so glad that I went through the storm I went through the battle I went through, so that I'm in a place where I can help people not go through what I went through. And that is what I'm grateful for. So we're all going to face challenges. We just need to have a plan on how to overcome the challenges that we're facing. Nothing on this earth is guaranteed. And as long as you remember nothing is guaranteed, tomorrow is going to be what you make it. Yesterday is done. This moment right now is the moment I have with you. And I want to let you know, don't let what's going on right now in your life define you. Find a way how to deal with it. Because if you make the decision today to move forward with whatever circumstances you're going through, there are people that's looking to see how you're handling your situation. Because if you've gone through it, you can help somebody get through it. So in my mind, I went through my hardship for a reason, that I can now help people on the other side. So you go through it, and then you grow through it. So ladies and gentlemen, as I close, I want to let you know that confidence gives you stability. Stability gives you peace. Peace gives you purpose. But for our Bahamian people in here, it's forward, onward, upward together. Thank you.
He's bringing it home, I'll tell you. Peace and stability. Mr. Conrad Williams, I've known him for quite a while in Superior Speakers. He joined our club. He liked kind of what we do and what we try to help lift others so they can get to speaking and feeling comfortable about it. You can see he just aced it. Our next speaker is Dr. Tamisha Walker. I'm gonna make sure, yeah, her slides up, woohoo! Dr. Tamisha Walker is a maternal health systems strategist, global peace ambassador, and founder of Heart for the Hopeless. Through her innovative leadership, workforce development, and cross-sector collaboration, she helps organizations create measurable outcomes, strengthen communities, and improve the effectiveness of health and human service systems. We are so glad to have her here today to share, and she has something to share with you. Dr. Tamisha Walker.
In a world without difficulty, where would you be? In spite of hypocrisy, deceit, alienation, disappointment, doors that don't open the way that you expect them to, where would you be? Only you can answer that question. Only you can decide whether you will remain someone who can produce measurable birth results or not. I stand before you with one assignment. to help you finish the ultimate goal. To not merely discuss it, but to finish it. For more than 2 decades, I have learned the difference between a compelling idea and a completed result. It's rarely met by desire alone, but when you work towards a vision, there are results that come with determination and visible action and focused execution. When you refuse to give procrastination authority, you get a chance to realize that today, you can move into action, quick action, a process that will take you to your next and give you resources that will help you to accomplish the things that you have dreamed of, prayed for, and asked to be a result. If you are ready for a challenge that will shape your future, that will cause you to make a difference on a global scale, that is what we are here for today. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Then let's do it. As we move forward in determination, we understand and we decide that there has to be decision, determination, disciplined action, and finished results. In spite of delay or disappointment, again I say to you, where would you be to have the birth results that you require? It makes me think of a Bohemian racer, Bohemian pirate. He was absolutely amazing. But what many did not realize was that he wasn't like all the other thoroughbreds that were in the race. Before he even hit his ultimate goal, he was 9 years old. It's a bit old for those in the thoroughbred field. He wasn't bought with thousands, millions, billions of dollars, as many of those you see in that field. No, he was bought with much less. And in his journey, went through so much along the way, he even lost his footing in the race, but came out as a winner, coming through multiple challenges, seeing things revealed because he trained under pressure. He also was able to be fixed on his finish line. He did not take into account all of the challenges that he went through. He used them as steps towards his goal. He was able to move from delay to decisive speed. He was able to measure the standards to make sure that he could achieve each and every leg of the race. That is what we will do today. What we need to do, just as it says in Habakkuk, is write the vision and make it plain upon the table so that those that read it can run with it. Can your vision be run with? Ask yourself, have you made it plain? Are you truly clear on what it is that you are looking to accomplish? What you do for clarity is ask these questions. The clarifying questions are, what do I see, hear, and feel when my goal is accomplished? What do you do with specificity to give yourself clarity over your specific goal? What do you see happening? Who do you see there? How will you feel when you experience it? What does this accomplishment mean emotionally, spiritually, professionally, and strategically? Because we move with purpose and action. And who is affected if I keep delaying my completion? Have you ever thought of that? It truly shifted me when I began to understand that there were mothers dying, that there were babies being lost, that there were families being torn apart when I did not do what I was called to do in my life. Have you ever thought of the impact of your immobility or your decision to move as slowly as possible to complete and accomplish your goal? Who's tragically shifted because of your inaction? or your lack of speed. Your goal becomes a defined future. It's no longer a foggy thought. It's no longer a whisper into the wind, but it becomes a definite action that you can move through with pacing, with timing, and with measurable accuracy. As we move forward, we understand that when we begin to get busy, you begin to see a bit more productivity, but let's classify what productivity really is. So productivity is not busyness. It's not just the meetings, more emails, making sure that your intentions are sort of kind of getting done. It's not just announcements. This is what I'm going to do. That's not it. It's what you want to make sure you're moving from. Just the look of getting it done. You actually want to make sure that you have decisions that are being made, that you have proposals that are being submitted, that you have systems that are being improved, that you have people that are being strengthened to accomplish and complete the goal that you've written out alongside you and in their own given fields as well. Birth results are conception brought into measurable form. So no longer the fog, but the clear clarity of what needs to be done. This is how we take specific steps towards that. We prepare, then we practice, and say it with me. What is the last one? Thank you so very much. We produce. So we prepare by clarifying the result. Then we practice by building capacity. It's when you put your foot in action and you begin to make the motion to go. But then we have the production where we execute under real life conditions. So you took the thought, you clarified it, and then you walked it out with measurable action. Vision without disciplined execution becomes another abandoned dream. If you really want to see it happen, don't abandon your dream. Get the action to it and get the action in excellence with speed. This is how I found to make it happen. As you all know, I work with mothers and babies globally around the world, making sure that they are lives that are lived, not lives that are mourned. The birth results that we talk about are the importance of being courageous. Say it with me. I, being ignited. R, being rooted. T, being tenacious. And H, being healed. That's right. A leadership operating system for birthing measurable results is just this. You want to make sure that B, when you're being courageous, even if it scares you, even if you're not exactly sure how you're going to get it done, you take a stance and you do it anyway. You walk it out in fear and trembling, but you make sure that you complete the targeted goal. The I is ignited. So as we talk through what it will look like in clarity, you're going to come up against roadblocks. You're going to come up against thoughts and perceptions where you say, there is no way that I could get that done. You are going to take the time to make sure that you understand those that are looking to see you come and help and what challenges are going to keep you from helping them. You have to be ignited enough to light it on fire and burn it down and say, I'm going to accomplish it anyway. It doesn't matter what comes against me. It doesn't matter what trial I face. I am going to get it done. R is rooted. So no matter what might come against you, no matter what the shifts might be, it doesn't matter. You stay rooted and grounded as the leader that you are, to know who you are. No matter what waves come against you, no matter what shifts may occur, you stay steadfast in who God has purposed you to be. The T is tenacious. That means you tear into it. No matter what the challenge might be, because you are ignited, you are walking forward in courage, and you are tenacious to to complete the goal. No matter what it is, no matter how the struggle may be, you have the power. You have the inner lion that is growling but no longer kept in a cage. It is now released to complete the birth result that you need. Then we have the H. I always bring this out when I speak to leaders because oftentimes we are taught to lead is just to be in front. But that's not the truth. Leaders not only lead from the front, but also in the back as a learner. Leaders must be prepared to be led and understand that as you clarify, as you dig up, you're going to find things about yourself that need to heal. So while you are executing what you've been called to do and others are being healed, you don't leave yourself behind. You heal as well. It's a calling to help others to be healthy. But it's a responsibility to help yourself and your team to be healthy as well. Leading and accomplishing a mission while almost dead yourself is not the goal that we have. It's important for us to all be healthy and healed together in this process. As we continue forward, again, be courageous. It helps to convert the truth into a deadline, making sure that you are accomplishing everything. What we do to help decide in this situation is ask, what must I courageously confront? And what result will I commit to complete? With the I of ignited, it helps me also think of the reticular activating system. How many have heard of that? It's the RAS. It's what allows us to integrate within our lives and wake us up to draw us into the things that need to be focused on while we are moving forward. It helps our minds to be sharp. So it helps us to cue and become responsibly executing of every desired skill and discipline that we need to go across. It helps you give your sharpest attention to the things that you need to do. The next is R, where you place your roots on the calendar. So we talked about it not just being busyness, right? But there needs to be some seriously activated and planted action. Here are the things I want you to commit to doing to move further and faster in excellence. Know who you are, protect your assignment, and schedule 45 to 90 minutes for your birth results. Create a block of time where you shut down all outside things. When a horse is preparing to race and waiting for that gate to open, they're not wondering, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? No! They are focused on the goal. They don't let in the outside noise. For every specific yes, we must have a calculated no. Set your spacing. Know what you can do. Know what is open to you. And decide the route you will take. By the end of this, you should have one meaningful unit of progress from this time that you have scheduled. You'll want to make sure, as Gospel 1 and 8 calls us to do, that we meditate, observe, and do. Inspiration must come with a specific conduct. We're called to do things. But are we really aligning and matching with that calling? The T of tenacious allows us again to apply those things. Pride lengthens the journey and humility shortens it. It shortens the distance between effort and outcome. As I stated with leaders, we must run forward with it, but we must make sure that we are taking the time to accept others that help us to move forward faster. What I've found with the organizations that I've worked with around the world, there are systems that need our support. We have to take the time to make a difference. Not just plant a seed here or there, but strategically tear down and supplant systems so that we have justice that is being seen around the world. With my organization, Heart for the Hopeless, we have had the opportunity to show tenacity in the way that we reached mothers globally, here in the United States, in Nigeria, in Liberia, and also in spaces like Asia and India, where we were able to talk to them about being encouraged themselves and taking care of themselves and their little ones, but being trained to do the same things for their community members. Making sure that there was a difference, not only in their homes, but in the homes surrounding them as well. So that we were causing a ripple effect of change to happen. So that it wasn't just us that were being tenacious about our purpose and goal, but that it became a community, then it became an environment, then it became nations that were saying, wait, there needs to be a shift. Wait, there needs to be a change to our current system and movement of organization. It's not benefiting our mothers. We also decided to do the same thing with the Darius D. Walker Golden Kidney Foundation. It's one that's named after my son. He was diagnosed with kidney disease and has at this point been on the transplant list twice. He's now 15, but was given no hope in utero at all. They asked me what I had been doing, as they said, this surgery won't work, and this surgery won't work, and this thing won't work. And I said, praying. And they said, keep doing that. And so I did. I wrote in my book, Purpose in Pain, where I said, before I fully passed out, when they explained to me that there was nothing they could do to help my child, that I would continue to press forward because I knew that the struggles that we were going through were not for ourselves. And I would say the same thing about each and every one of you. The stumbles that you've taken, the steps where you decided, I felt like I couldn't do it, that I was going to be crushed, that I was going to cry, that I could not handle it. But you're here today. When we realized it wasn't about us and we began to ask, who could we help? It's not about us, but it's about them. As we move forward, and I have an opportunity to work with Word of Life Christian Ministries as a consultative status with the UN to talk about women and children. This is the third year in a row where I've had the opportunity to not only host, but speak on multiple platforms to help encourage the fact that there has to be change. And not only that there has to be change, but that we are the change makers. That we have to move intensely and quickly to complete what we are called to do. So as we move forward, we learn through this process that we don't honor the assignment by destroying the person that was assigned to carry the vision, but by making sure that we are moving forward and carrying out the assignment in health. So here's what you will do to pace yourself. 90 days, you will move forward. You will go weekly, daily, and every week assess how you have moved. This is how you will move forward in excellence. You are now at the control gate. We've set your plan in action. We've now given you a way to set your pace. But the question becomes, will you open the gate? You realize you need to stop the noise, but will you open the gate? If the answer is no, you've missed out on yet another opportunity. But today, because I know you're here, I'm pretty much guaranteed that your answer is yes. Oh, that your answer is yes. So there we have it. You have a measurable result. That is what I call a birth result. So I am calling you today to birth in excellence, to birth with speed, to do what you have been purposed and called to birth today. Repeat after me. I will birth today. Thank you.
such wonderful speakers. I love them to death. They work hard and they have a voice. You have a voice. That's why we're here to guide you through this. Inside, discover yourself, have that confidence, and then start working with others, and then have that voice so that you can, woo! What we're going to do now is we have 2 more speakers, and they are amazing. With the fact of having the fact we are in the results mode, power within, the power of unity, and now what are we going to do about it? We're going to bring in Dr. Douglas McCall. Hope his slide comes up. Woo! There you go. And he has delivered professional development workshops, conference presentations, the SHRM, SHRM is what we call it, programs, that's with Human Resource Development, and Rotary keynote addresses, his PhD research, examined identity and motivation, providing a strong scholarly foundation for helping individuals align who they are and how they show up. And it's something to pay attention to. Let's welcome Dr. Douglas McCall.
Close your eyes. Imagine you're walking down a familiar road. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, and a slight breeze takes the edge off the afternoon heat. In the distance, you spot a mango tree. As you walk closer, its branches spread out. Vibrant yellows, greens, reds, and oranges hang from every branch. Take a moment to imagine that tree. As you imagine that tree, what came to mind first for you? I hear lots of lovely answers coming from there, but I can't help but notice that something is missing. No one mentioned soil. I don't think I heard anybody say roots. And that's because what's visible captures our attention. The fruit, the results, the success. We hear accomplished musicians, and we forget the thousands of hours they spent practicing alone. We see elite athletes on the world stages, and we forget the years of training that got them there. We watch successful entrepreneurs and completely lose sight of the failures, the empty bank accounts, the false starts. The visible is what captures our attention. But it's the invisible that makes it possible. You've heard some phenomenal speakers today talk about the power within, the power of unity, and the power of results. I'd like to suggest to you that empowerment grows from all these ideas, because empowerment isn't the fruit. I'd like to take you beneath the surface, because if we want to understand the fruit of empowerment, we need to first understand the strength beneath it. When I was early in my teaching career, I was navigating many new responsibilities. Like many young professionals, I sought out someone with more experience than me to be my mentor. We talked about areas where I was successful, places where I could continue to grow. I trusted their advice and treated it as seasoned wisdom. They shared with me suggestions on curriculum planning, dealing with the administration, all sorts of things. And I, without really considering how it impacted or aligned with my values or with who I wanted to be the teacher, went with it. Later on, I realized that they had actually become very jaded about education and skeptical of our district's administration. I found myself playing it safe, staying within the walls of my own classroom, treating my administration with unnecessary caution. in hindsight, I probably missed out on some opportunities because of those choices. It wasn't until years later that I realized what had happened. My mentor had not been intentionally holding me back. They were simply sharing the profession through their lens. And because I didn't take time to think and reflect on it, I adopted their limitations. Which, oddly enough, got me thinking about fruit. When a mango seed is to plant, requires well-drained soil, good nutrients, a very specific pH balance. Without these conditions, an otherwise healthy seed may never take root. The possibility is there, but the environment doesn't support its growth. I believe the same is true of us. As Lev Vygotsky said, through others, we become ourselves. While it's true that empowerment ultimately comes from within, few of the people around us often determine whether our strengths are cultivated or constrained. Few of us reach our full potential in isolation. If you want to be empowered, you need to consider the people in your circle. They should encourage you when you encounter obstacles, challenge you when you're giving less than your full potential, and remind you of who you are when you've forgotten. At the same time, not everyone in your circle deserves equal influence. Some people, like that mentor, will inadvertently hold you back. As Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So let me ask you this question. Who's influencing the quality of your soil? Are there people in your circle who are negatively impacting the pH balance? Who's providing you with good nutrients? And who waters you with encouragement without drowning you in dependence? A healthy seed planted in poor soil struggles to take root. But a healthy seed planted in rich soil has a much stronger chance of becoming a mature tree. Healthy soil creates possibility. But possibility isn't enough. In my late 20s, I had a young family, 2 kids at home, and not a whole lot of money. So I decided I'm going to go become a school principal. That will provide me with stability. So I went back to school, got a second master's degree, filled out application after application. I sat and I prepared answers to every question I thought a principal should be able to answer. I went to every interview dressed in a suit, holding my portfolio, convinced I was ready. And I was rejected. Not once, not twice, 70 times. 70. I heard you out there. One of the last interviews still stays with me. I arrived at the interview. There was a long table of stern faces and neatly stacked resumes staring at me. They fired questions at me, and I was returning them like a seasoned tennis pro, which I am clearly not. And then they asked me a question. What would your faculty say about you after a hard week? My script collapsed. Because the honest answer wasn't in my notes. As I drove home, I realized something I'd been avoiding. The interviews weren't authentic. I wasn't showing up as myself. I was trying to be a school administrator. I was showing up as a music teacher in a cleverly crafted administrator's costume. And everybody in the interview could see it, except me. That realization hurt. But it freed me, Because once I stopped trying to be who I thought I should be, I could finally invest in who I'd been all along. The roots of a tree are like our identity. They provide structure in life circumstances. When a mango seed is planted, two things happen. A small shoot reaches up toward the light, and a taproot drives deep into the ground. The taproot becomes the tree's anchor. It drives into the soil and pulls out water and nutrients. Later, surface roots will spread out in every direction under the soil, providing support for the entire canopy. After years, surface roots will start to appear that become the visible expression of all of the strength going on beneath the soil. I believe our identity is much the same. Our core identity is the taproot. It is the deepest part of who we are, our values, beliefs, convictions that remain steady throughout life circumstances. The surface roots, or the lateral roots, are how our identity is expressed in our different careers, relationships, and responsibilities. And the surface roots are how we show up in the world. They're the parts of us that people often see first. Problems arise when these root systems become disconnected. When how we show up isn't in line with who we are, we become unstable. We may appear successful for a time, but we've become disconnected from our strength of our core. I believe that's what happened to me in those interviews. This administrator personality identity had nothing to do with who I truly was. That's what happened. So how do we fix that? We fix that by when we stop asking the question, what should I do? And start asking the question, who am I? Or who do I want to be? When who we are, how we think, and how we show up all point in the same direction, our system works in alignment. The stability of identity gives us direction. But direction isn't movement. Eventually, we all have to answer the question, now what? In my late 30s, something unexpected happened. I had just finished some training to become a coach and a mentor. But as I was learning, I became fascinated by another possibility, speaking. So I joined Toastmasters, thinking it would make me a better communicator. While it did, it also pushed my life in a completely different direction. Now, years of theater, vocal performance, and time spent teaching in the classroom had given me a pretty strong foundation. But Toastmasters, I found something much more valuable, a community, honest feedback, and a place to grow. Then last year, I made a different choice. I decided to stop waiting for people to tell me I was ready. I joined the National Speakers Association. I started booking keynotes. I stopped waiting for permission. I started taking responsibility. And you know what? That's when opportunities appeared. Not because I suddenly became more talented, not because I had figured out a new identity, not because I had figured out a different identity, but because I finally took action. That's agency. We are all confronted with opportunities, obstacles, decisions, and difficulties. Our support system cannot make the choices for us. Our identity can't make those choices for us. It comes down to us taking responsibility and taking action. Agency is when identity stops being theory and starts becoming behavior. Now let's go back to our mango tree. Healthy soil creates the nutrients. Strong roots absorb the nutrients. But it's not until that passes through the trunk that you can actually have fruit. The trunk doesn't create the nutrients, that's the soil's job. The trunk doesn't absorb the nutrients. That's the root's job. But without the roots, neither the soil nor the roots can express their full identity. As Epictetus observed, it's not what happens to us, but how we react to it that matters. That's the essence of agency. Two people can have similar backgrounds, similar support systems, even similar identities, yet achieve completely different outcomes. Oftentimes, the difference has nothing to do with what they know. The difference comes down to what they choose. I spent years thinking empowerment was a goal. As it turns out, I was wrong. Empowerment is simply something healthy trees produce. When a mango seed is planted, it doesn't immediately produce fruit. It's not like plant a seed, pick fruit, right? For the first year, it develops roots. For the next several years, it builds a stronger trunk, broader canopy, more leaves, and all of that. Only after years does it begin to flower. And even though thousands of blossoms appear, only a small percentage will become fruit. Early harvests are modest. It takes patience, time, and continued growth for the tree to mature and produce fruit in abundance. Empowerment grows much the same way. Most empowered people, contrary to popular belief, don't wake up one morning going, I'm empowered. Think of something you can do today that you couldn't do 10 years ago. Chances are that didn't happen overnight. In all likelihood, you took a step, survived it, and took another. Over time and repetition, those steps allow you to trust yourself to influence your own circumstances. Empowerment grows much the same. Empowered people aren't free from fear, doubt, or indecision. Instead, they've learned to move past it or in spite of it. Empowerment gives us the ability to step fully into our potential instead of shrinking from it. It gives us courage to lead, to contribute, to serve, and to pursue opportunities that previously might have seemed beyond our reach. When we surround ourselves with people who help us grow, when we know who we are, and when we act in line with that identity, empowerment becomes the fruit. And like fruit, it develops gradually. Its growth isn't obvious at first, but over time it becomes increasingly evident in how we approach obstacles, pursue opportunities, and influence the lives of people around us. So let's return to our tree. When first we encountered it, we noticed the fruit, because fruit is what we see. But now we know that fruit is not the start of the journey. The journey begins deep below the surface. It starts with healthy soil. It continues through strong roots. It grows through a strong trunk. And we are much the same way. Healthy soil is in who we surround ourselves with. They should encourage, challenge, and help us grow. Strong roots are found in an identity that remains constant throughout life's circumstances. A sturdy trunk is in the daily decisions to act in alignment with our identity. With strong support systems, identity, and agency, we are finally able to achieve the fruit of empowerment. So let me ask you a final question. Are you frustrated by the quality of your fruit while not considering the health of your tree? Think about it this way. How many of you, by a raise of hands, know a gardener who spends all day staring at fruit? Strangely enough, there's no hands in the air right now. Because gardeners don't grow fruit. They cultivate the conditions to make fruit possible. They nourish the soil. They protect the roots. They grow, they support the trunk. And in time, they trust that fruit will appear. And maybe that's the invitation for us today. If your soil needs attention, surround yourself with people who are going to help you grow. If your identity needs strengthening, take time to clarify who you really are. And if your trunk is weakened by fear, doubt, or indecision, commit to taking one step. The goal isn't perfection, it's growth. Because growth is what produces a possibility. As I close, let's think about our mango tree one last time. As people passed by, they noticed the fruit. They enjoyed the shade. They benefited from everything the tree provides. Most of them gave no thought to what made all of that possible. But you know different. You know that the fruit is not the beginning of the story. So strengthen your soil. Strengthen your roots. Grow your trunk. And trust that the fruit will appear. Because empowerment is not the beginning of the story. And it's not something you chase. It's something you cultivate. The world may notice the fruit, but the strength was always beneath it.
Absolutely amazing. Yet another amazing speaker. Thank you again to Dr. Douglas McCall. Next, we have our closing speaker. If you have been aroused today, brought into a space of understanding, you can for sure be alerted to the fact that Christine Campbell, a DTM, is a keynote speaker, an entrepreneur and author, and founder of Superior Speakers Bureau and the co-founder of Superior Speakers Advanced Toastmasters Club. With more than 45 years of experience in communications, leadership, public relations, marketing, broadcasting, and event development, she has dictated and dedicated her career to helping individuals discover their potential, find their voice, and create meaningful impact. As creators of the SSB Bahamas Unity and Heritage International Festival, she is passionate about bringing people together, building stronger communities, and helping others discover what is still possible for them. Please, with a rousing hand of applause, bring to the stage Christine Campbell.
Answer this one. How are you going to lead your millions? Okay, what does that mean? Hello? ¿Cómo estás? My kids and I were one night doing a workshop. I was single 15 years, even when they were young tots. Every night before they went to bed, we had our workshop. We learned something. We would, if someone was like a little mean to someone the other day, or that day, then we would go around the room. And they had to say something nice to everybody and about everybody. And that was wonderful. That was a real miracle, and it worked. They went to bed happy. But one lesson that I gave, I did a lot of research, because I thought they're like 8, 12, 13, and on that, poor kids. And I thought, let's get this where it's serious. And this is more than saying, okay, there's a great big video, and up in the heavens, they know what you're doing when a mom's not home. I hope I didn't freak them out. But this is something we're growing up. I said, how are you going to make your millions? And here is a math equation. Go home and do it. Back then, people usually got married and had 3 kids by the time they were 30. Okay, I'm almost 70, so it was way back when. But when we calculated 3 kids and married, so you've got an extra spouse. In 30 years, those kids are married with 3 kids and more spouses. We counted to 300 years, okay, a little extreme, but there's a million. A million. Can you imagine? It doesn't have to be your own kids. It could be somebody you talked to, somebody you said hi to with a smile across the room at an international airport, because guess what? They understand that language. The point is, I had them looking around. I said, tell me, how are you going to leave your millions? Little girl, Mom, I'm going to share my toys. That's right. That's perfect. And then it went on. It was beautiful because hopefully, not only my kids, but each one of you can go home and calculate. I write in a journal. It's called The Captain of My Ship, because meaning I have control. There was a time in my life I had no control. I married somebody, we had beautiful kids, but very, very, you can say I was kind of in my cage. And I was never asked my opinion. In fact, when I wanted to tell them how great I did to have my game plan of how I can have the house completely happy, the kids happy, and have gourmet meals for dinner just for him when he comes home, I said, I have this daily planner I did. I'm so excited, I can't wait to share with you. You are so stupid to have to write things down. And I thought, I am not going to let my kids hear that. I am not. So what I decided to do is take action. When he was gone, I was being positive to myself. I would look in that mirror that everyone's told you today, and I'd say, I'm awesome. You're beautiful. You matter. And back then we had cassette players. So I would take 2 hours, because my kids normally took a nap for 2 hours, and I would take those affirmations. I had a whole list of them. And I taped them and heard them when I was taking my nap. Hopefully it would register me and get all goosey and everything. Well, there was a time I thought, this is the time. I had enough money for 1 month's rent if I was to leave. And don't get me wrong, this person was my best friend. Once. And don't get me wrong, he was Mr. So-and-so, so-and-so in Nashville, Tennessee in the music industry. And guess what? That didn't matter. Because I was going to take my freedom to know I was somebody. Nobody even knew my first name. It was so-and-so's wife. That's so-and-so's wife. For years. So as I'm depleting, not being able to work, we had adventures at home being a stay-at-home mom, and I loved it. But there was something missing. Me. And so we planned it. There was one day I had enough to get big old U-Haul. And I had friends from my church. They kind of knew the situation, the girls. Come and help me move out. And we took everything he was going to throw away. He was very, nice stuff. We left the nice stuff. We took what was important to us, each other. We even took the pet hamster. There's all of us in the front cab, my 3 younger kids. And I'm driving out of there, and I'm driving a stick shift. And I know how to drive stick shifts, but it's been a while. So we're going down there. I got this fear in me and everything, and grinding the stick shift. And my kids are, Mom, you're going to break the truck. No. Mom, the hamster's loose. Right in front of my face. That's how we started off. And guess what? We moved 4 hours away from Nashville to Atlanta. And I'll tell you what was the coolest thing, is that it was cool. I had 1 month's rent. I had no financial help, no family around, because we were in Idaho. I decided to pray. I prayed a lot. But something told me, go back to school. Go back to college. And I did. But guess what? It was even better. And it happened to be April 1st. When I moved down, I didn't mean it was April Fool's Day, but it happened to be that way. But when I got there, I thought, well, there's no way to get any help for schooling, and it's going to be a long wait. They had me with scholarships, with everything, even free babysitting. It was 100% commuter college. So I went, and I signed up I went to school before I got married. I did a lot of big stuff before I got married, and just gave up me. And I had like 300 courses in marketing because I felt I'll just carry on. There was a Dr. Kiramani, he was this class I took, and everyone's asking him questions. And I had to take him aside and go, Dr. Kiramani, I don't know how to ask questions. I used to. And he said, well, just try. And I'm 35 years old, right? Well, I tried, and I got my hand up once, and he answered me. What did you have to say about it? Well, I did some homework. And I went from one thing to the next, and then I took public speaking in college. I had to pay for it, where Toastmasters is only $60 a year, or 6 months. But I did, and I wrote this speech about the captain of my ship, where I'm in command. I can make it. I can go through that storm straight. I even had sailing lessons, and you don't try to turn in a storm. You have to go through it for your safety of your ship. I did the right things, but guess what happened inside of me? Oh, I was feeling good, feeling really good. I was losing some weight, and there was a Miss Kennesaw State pageant. I'm 35, and there's 20-year-olds. And I'm doing it. It was based on community service, and I was doing training and dancing for a girl in my Sunday school class I taught. She didn't have money, so I worked there so she could go, and my kids could go. And I started Kennesaw Care program, and I started a TV thing. They didn't have TV there. I'd drive to Athens to learn and come back and say, this is how we do it. And it was fun. That fall, I was running for president. I'm in student government. I did that right away. And I didn't know anything about student government, but I was showing up. I was making the dean's list. And then magic happened. I won the pageant. And here's how I won. I did not have the entourage. I did not have all of these beautiful gowns and everything. I had one gown, but I had my Sunday school girls that wanted me to pick them up. I was in curlers in my gown. I had the dance teacher come over and do my makeup, and we were all driving in this car. Please don't run off the road. And I am glowing because we are late. We get there 20 minutes before it starts. Who does that? So they're in the back. I'm out there, and there's only one time I had a question because we didn't have time to study. And because they ask questions on stage, and you want to be brilliant. There was one that stood out. It was about who's the most favorite person in your life. And that was my grandma. She said I was a smart cookie when I was young. That was the most endearing thing and the only endearing thing I heard. And then my good friend that paid for me to have a car so I could live away from my home situation. It was easy, and that was the question I got. They had 20 of them. And so when it came to Miss Kennesaw State College, Christine, can you believe it? Now, that echoed something that I experienced years ago when I had my freedom before the storm. I grew up. My mother had severe depression. My older siblings were farmed out to everybody else. She had severe depression. She had 8 kids in 13 years, and my dad left her for someone else. Wow. She went to the mental hospital. They did shock treatment on her. And it was something where I have my little sister, I'm young, And I learned to cook for her. I learned to make her happy. And I started finding out, because my mother was in her bedroom. She was sad at life. And you know what happened? I started to feel really good inside. Because when I made her happy, she smiled. She goes, "You're the bestest sister." At night when I would go to sleep, I'd put my arm around her and I would say, "When we grow up, I'm going to have a big house. When we grow up, I'm going to have you everything you ever wanted. We're going to have a car." We didn't have one. We lived in the house nobody took care of. I had a neighbor once. I went babysit. I'm the most popular babysitter at age 12. They once stuck me 3 days with their kids because they liked me so much. And that was our Christmas present. It was beautiful. But what happened was that I even was happier, more positive. I learned to play fiddle. I took orchestra, and then somebody showed me a fiddle, and I thought, "Dang, that's good." And that's what took me to Nashville. But back then, I am doing many things to get out of myself. And that's how I found myself. I had a stepmother. "You play a squeaky fiddle. You're never going to end up with anything." She didn't like me very much. And the neighbor would say, "You live in a pigsty." I want you to know my bedroom was spick and span. Nobody dared enter with shoes or anything. Because I could own my bedroom. So if our house got cleaned up, the neighbors came to do it. The best part about that is I had dreams when I was 8 years old. I wrote in my journal that I was going to have 8 kids just like my mom. I even had them named because I'm going to be a mom that I always dreamed of. I loved my mom dearly. And it was her quiet example of reading the Bible every day by herself in a quiet corner that taught me that powerful example. So it comes around, I decide to have better clothes. The neighbor teaches me how to sew my clothes. I am 5th grade sewing my own clothes. I loved it. I loved designing. And 15 years old, you could get a driver's license if you had a job. So I had 2 jobs. And I paid cash for a 1965 convertible Valiant. Oh my gosh, I could fly from Idaho Falls to Blackfoot at midnight and just had 120 miles to save on there. I just had to see if it worked. And it did! That was so cool. So I was able to take us to the grocery store instead of walking across town. And that was a beautiful feeling. Then the big thing happened. There was a poster on the wall. Idaho Falls Junior Miss accepting applications. No, not me. Because I live here. And when I told my family, "What? You play a squeaky fiddle. You'll never make that." Did I listen to any of that? No. I'm in a happy cloud. I grew up in my happy cloud. And that's what you have to do when those things happen. So I didn't have money for books, for the coaching, for the modeling. I didn't have any of that, but I had creativity. So I would walk with books on my head. I could even run with books on my head, just to make sure I was playing my fiddle like anything. Orange Blossom Special, that was my favorite song. I would go outside to train and play on it. The neighbors would scream to get me back inside. I would be inside and everyone was telling me to go outside. You know, go figure, but I loved playing my fiddle. It was my very best friend. It kept me out of trouble. It was the only thing I wanted to do. So I had that, and then I was pretty fit at that time. I sewed my gown and designed it. And I also sewed all my outfits in the pageant. One favorite show I always knew I loved was My Fair Lady. And here's how things were. We went in for a dress rehearsal. The music to My Fair Lady. And I'm sitting there, I'm at home. The night before the event, I made sure to write handwritten cards to each of these girls. They were from the rich side of town. When we had the judges interview, they had their entourage. You know, they knew they looked good, right? And I just dashed in from work, from my car. And I didn't have that look. But I got to talk to the judges. And they asked about me. And I told them. And I figured, Okay, I'm just glad I'm here. Oh, where'd you drive from? I have my own car. I paid cash twice for it. And I helped my mother by watching my little sister. Pageant night. Just in case he had to bring an escort, I did ask the cutest guy in high school, and he did say yes. And I thought, I'll never see him again, but this is going to be cool. So I wrote these cards to these girls hoping they would win. When we were going through the performance, we did a little dance routine with our gowns. I know how to rock. And then we did our fiddle and the different talents. And then we had an exercise thing, Miss Congeniality. But then we're all lined up with our very nice looking partner. And they're starting to run off. Okay, the winner, Miss Congeniality. I knew she would get it. We have a tie. We have a tie with talent. We have Kendra Stewart. She was a ballet dancer. And Christine Campbell. Okay, that made my day. I can go home now. But then, the winner of the gown competition and of the poise and appearance, Miss Christine Peterson. Wow, I thought, that is so cool. Then we're standing up there. And what they said, and Miss Idaho Falls Junior Miss is Christine Peterson. This crown is not to represent what I did. This is to represent you. You were born with a crown. You have that in you. Precious, beautiful, worthy, you matter. Own your crown. Look in the mirror. Say, I'm worth it. Just imagine. Yeah, you can do it now. Say, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I matter. Yeah, I believe it. But don't forget your crown. Don't forget when things go down, you can stand up. And my 4 kids, my youngest, my princess is 36, living the life in Manhattan. They don't know how to fail. They didn't have any example. They didn't. We always made things work out, no matter what it was. So teach your millions something. In your journal, don't write, oh, I had a bad day, it was horrible, this happened, I never want to wake up again. No, because you're teaching your millions, that's what you do. You say, I had something happen, guess what, I solved it. I feel so good. And I'm going to make a difference. That's how you do it. Because when they're reading this, you're reading your millions, right? Lastly, I just want to hand out to this experience. All of my speakers here are absolutely fabulous. They have taught us well. We all have our own voice. I want you to reach in and know that you have your voice too. And if you haven't practiced speaking, I think you know a couple of places online with superior speakers, or there are beautiful Toastmasters here. And I encourage you to keep coming back. We have another afternoon workshop, and it seems like a lot, but guess what? We love the practice, and we love to have you say that you made a difference. So we're going to end this, and I have a song, and these songs are my songs I've written. And we have 3 pillars today. The power within to give us courage to begin. Power of unity gives us the strength to continue. The power of results gives us the legacy we leave behind, our millions. Without the first, the second cannot exist. Without the second, the third will never happen. And together, they can become transformational leadership. Today is something bigger, even larger than themselves. It's about the future of Bahamas, if we can do something to make a difference. We have an incredible event tomorrow at the fish fry, we have fun booths. We have all of our speakers have an autograph booth. We have beautiful magazines they're going to autograph for you. And it's going to be a beautiful time. I'd like you to take the time. It's from noon to 6. And about 3 o'clock, our MC, we have an MC, DJ. It's just loaded. We have crab catching. Who can do that? I want to learn. But meet the speakers today. Talk to them one-on-one. I have a slide up here. We'll put it on, but we'll play the song. But can you put that slide up right after this? It has a QR code on it, and I want to explain that. Right after this is someone you wanted a copy of. Move it one more time. Not yet, not yet, not yet. No, not yet. Let's do the slide. The slide's important because I want people to get a copy. Woohoo! We're talking. This is a QR code, and it goes to a form of all the speakers. I want you, it's not long, just put in what speaker you want information from. And so get that QR code. And if you need it to be up close, we can do that when we're finished. You can get that up close too. Because we would love to hear from you. Everyone has information they can share about what they do. Now, let's bring the song on. Thank you. And this, I want us to stand up and kind of sway to this one. It's called The Fire Within.
Unleash the fire within. Unleash the fire within. 'Cause 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 the fire
sexy life, right? But thank you, we're officially done, and I appreciate you. Who all got pictures with our beautiful background with it tomorrow? Okay, there's pictures. Where are the pictures, Kendall? The background.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Right downstairs, it's set up.
Okay, make sure you get pictures right there. Thank you so very much.
Come, my people, come celebrate, come share the joy, welcome home.
Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on, hey. One Bahamas, one Bahamas, oh yeah. The morning sun lights up the sea, island hearts beat wild and free. From there